Sniper Elite over the years has become a staple of single-player first-person shooters. The original released in 2005, and we now have the newcomer with Sniper Elite VR. You play as a member of the Italian partisans, where the story is set around you trying to help dislodge the Nazi occupying forces using your sniping skills and a smidge of explosives. Just before we get into the review, remember to subscribe, like, dislike, and comment with any questions or feedback. It would help me out a bunch. I'll start off with the movement and comfort options, as I had a lot of people on stream ask me how it felt. So personally, I play with free movement and smooth turning, though I would disable turning if possible as I don't use it. Though teleport movement and snap turning are available. There's also options for grip types, so if you don't want to have to constantly grip a button to hold the rifle, you don't have to. There are also options for a comfort scope, which seems to make it less shaky with the tracking, and you can also adjust the belt, which is basically your inventory, as you store guns and equipment on your person. I've had no issue whatsoever with the movement or any motion sickness, and that was after a 4-hour stream and many hours since. The belt and adjustments, however, could be tweaked slightly, as when you first start playing it can be really fiddly to see what gun you're actually going to pick up if it's near your chest. I feel the belt could be made slightly bigger and changed to make it so it's only visible if you look almost straight down, and that way it isn't visible if you're just aiming, but it allows for easier view of what weapons you currently have. Sniper Elite VR starts off strong, with a unique way of telling the story as you play a small section of a level to get you hooked to the X-ray kill cam, and then you realise these are flashbacks to an older version of the protagonist. You're actually sat in a chair looking back through memories of you shooting out Nazi eye sockets while watching the grandchildren play. It's a bit surreal at first, but it's kind of cool. It's better than just click start next mission from a menu. From here you can also edit your loadouts. You can have 3 different ones to choose from and flip through your memories to replay older missions. There are leaderboards available for each mission, so if you want to try compete for score on different difficulties, that is an option. The stars for each mission I thought were originally just challenges are actually important for the story, as if you do not get enough throughout the missions, eventually you will need to repeat them to get access to missions further down the story. I did find this a little bit annoying purely because some of them make you play in a way that might not fit your playstyle, such as finish the level in 10 minutes or kill 10 people with the trench gun. I just wish there wasn't a deliberate cap on your freedom of play. Now you might be wondering, in comparison to the other Sniper Elite games, how does the VR game work? Well, you have to hold the rifle with both hands or controllers and then raise the scope to your eye. You can use the left controller trigger to focus just as you can in the other games, and then pull the trigger and hope you calculated for the wind and drop properly. All the rifles are manually boltable if you like that. If not, you can disable it to automatically bolt after you're shot. The X-ray view is a little different from the other games in the sense that it's a red background with the Nazi AI then getting shot, compared to the other games where you see the scenery around them. I wish they had kept this for VR though. I assume it's for optimization and performance, though even just the option to enable the true kill cam with scenery would be nice, as the red screen does remove some of the immersion. In terms of looking and feeling like a Sniper Elite game, it definitely does that, no doubt about it. From the rifle sounds to the look of the game, from the first few minutes, you know this is a Sniper Elite game, and I had a lot of fun in the first few missions, as you may have watched on the stream. I spent a good 10-15 minutes just shooting Nazis, even though I could have just left the area for the next part of the mission. The missions and the difficulty themselves range from quite close quarters to, oh dear, that's quite a long shot. I did like the variation and the fact that you could have loadouts as mentioned before. It meant you didn't have to do much fiddling, as you could just take a different loadout for close quarters or long range combat. In terms of level design, however, I wish there was more variation, as it felt quite linear for a lot of it. If you've played the more recent Sniper Elite games, you'll know what I mean, as there are a lot of multiple pathways to the objectives, with areas that give you optimal view to snipe enemies, or you can sneak around the edges of the map and take out only who you need to. In this, it's very much forcing you to go one way and that's it. On top of this, some of the levels start you off very close to enemies, which is an odd choice as it puts you at risk of being instantly seen. In terms of difficulty, I've been playing mainly on Authentic, which don't get me wrong, I'm aware I chose the hard difficulty, but the AI in this mode are incredibly OP. They are so accurate. It isn't really an issue in small numbers, but in a mission where you're in the church tower and there's like 10 guys at a time, it's like a firing squad. You pop up for even a second, and they will just light up the tower like Christmas. And it makes you need to hide for a while until they lose interest. I wish the AI wasn't so much of an aimbot, as either they see you almost through the scenery, or they will shoot the second even a pixel of your hitbox is visible, meaning you get pinned down very easily. I like difficulty, as I have said before, but when they are pinpoint accurate at that range, it's a bit over the top. It just means you have to spend about 30 minutes slowly killing them one by one. The church tower mission and the gun battery mission were definitely the most annoying for this, in my opinion, as if anybody saw you, you basically had to kill about 10 people at once while they were all spread around. Later in the game, I've also been spotted while crouched and barely even able to see the enemy from what must have been 250-300 meters of range. It makes it very brutal, and what I thought was borderline annoying as you basically have to peek and fire within a second or so, or you alert the whole base and you have to restart. The other difficulties I've tried are not too bad, though I guess that will vary per person and what they are willing to tolerate from the AI. Interactivity in this game is a bit of an odd one. You can interact with guns and ammo and equipment, as well as a few items within the game such as helmets, hammers and bottles, but that's pretty much it. You can't interact with anything else, which is a shame as they put quite a lot of various scenery in the game like telephones, papers, lanterns. It would have been nice if you could interact with them. Don't get me wrong, I am well aware that this would not really benefit the gameplay, but it does seem odd to have a VR game not allow people to interact with the environment, as many other games do. The only real bugbear I have with this game in terms of interactivity is the grenades, as they are not throwable. You press the trigger, you get an arc, it then throws it to wherever the arc finishes. I'm sure my throws would have been, most of the time, awful, but I'd like the chance to be awful, if that's okay. I've saved this bit until last and you'll see why. This section is to talk about graphics and PCVR. A lot of people seem to be annoyed with the textures and overall graphics in the game. I wouldn't say I'm on their side of it's a Quest port, but there is an argument to be had over the game's looks. When you play on PC, the whole argument and my rationale as to why PC is a good platform is you should be able to have people with low-end rigs and high-end rigs play the same game customized to their preferences. In Sniper Elite, even on the highest settings, which I've enabled, the textures and some scenery does look kinda bland. The grass is just 2D strands and everything else is just a texture. And if you get close to the walls or some items in the game, the textures do start to look a bit off. It's a shame, as if you compare that to the normal Sniper Elite games, it's quite a large step back. I'm not expecting, AAA quality Sniper Elite VR 4K textures, but it's a little bit of a letdown when you know that PC VR is capable of much more. It doesn't mean that you have to skimp on the low-end graphics options, we can have both ends of the spectrum. Whether this is because of the Quest I can't say, but PC VR definitely has the capability to look and perform better. I really hope we get some kind of overhaul on PC VR, or they allow some modder to do it, as I'm sure someone would want to. It would definitely help the game age better in the coming years, and it would also make it more immersive as the scenery and foliage would make it more realistic. So I would say Sniper Elite VR is a mixed bag. It has a unique story spanning a fair amount of hours with what I would say is pretty good voice acting to guide you through it. Interesting shooting mechanics like we're used to with Sniper Elite as a series, as well as the classic feel of the series within this VR game. It also has a good amount of comfort options for those that might be prone to motion sickness, like smooth turning or teleport motion. You also have automatic bolting for people that may prefer a more simple approach to reloading. I will say a big pro to this game is the price. I was fully expecting before they announced it to be somewhere like £30, $40, maybe even £40, $55, purely because of the name Sniper Elite. So at £22.99 or $29.99, I was pleasantly surprised at the price. The issues I had with the game, however, do detract from what is otherwise a pretty fun game, ranging from the belt system feeling a little bit awkward to use, which made weapon selection a little bit tricky. Hopefully that gets tweaked and made more user-friendly, but when this game does work, it works well, and it is a fun experience. The kill cam is also a reduced version from the flat games where the scenery and surroundings are hidden. It's not a big issue, but it does reduce the immersion in the world, and I think it should be added as an option to be turned on at some point for higher end systems. Level design wise, it's quite linear. I really hope the devs at some point perhaps tweak their levels to have multiple paths like the main series, as some of it does feel a little tunneled, and doesn't really give you much freedom to play how you want to, as you will just get spotted in seconds if you don't take out the enemies in order. The AI could also do with some tweaks, as they seem to have laser vision and precision which leads you to hiding behind walls for long periods until they chill out. Please allow me to throw my own terrible grenades. PCVR could do with more graphics options. I understand graphics don't make a game, and it won't make the game any better, but it will make a big difference to immersion and fidelity, which in VR should be your main aim anyway as both a dev and a player. So I hope in the future we get higher quality settings, as I feel the PC version could do better and should do better, as it will make this game stand out for years to come. How would I rate the game? I would say if you're an enjoyer of Sniper Elite games and can look past the linear level design and just want to shoot Nazis in the face and various bodily organs, you'll probably enjoy this game, and for the price, it's a modest price to pay for the gameplay. So I would say it's a good game to get if that's your mindset. If you're the type to look a bit deeper, you may notice a few cracks in the game that stop it from reaching its potential, like the issues I listed previously. And that is a shame, as when the game works, it's really fun, but there are issues that let it down. Some of them the devs are aware of and are actively working on. Hopefully in the next few weeks we can get a roadmap of what to expect in the future from the devs, as I'm sure there will be some future updates and content. But if you're on the fence right now, maybe wait a few weeks to see if we do get any information. Hopefully it's only up from here, but if you do wish to follow more of what I do, check the description and the pinned comment for my Twitter/Linktree if you want to follow my goings on. All of my links are in the Linktree. But that's pretty much it for this video, so I will see you for the next one.